And a $500 million court victory for President Trump. Where does the civil fraud case go next? Vikas Bajaj has answers.
I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake. I believe that the president of these United States can be indicted for criminal offenses.
No one is above the law, including this illegitimate president. I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, defending your rights, and then going home.
That was New York Attorney General Leticia James back in 2018 vowing to go after President Trump. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and federal litigator Vikas Bajaj. After it was tossed today, the $500 million verdict was tossed. Jonathan Turley said the following here. Watch.
The so-called victims had testified and said, no, we wanted to do more business with the Trump corporation. No, we didn't lose any money. We considered this a good loan for our purposes and wanted more of them. And then this judge said, all right, that'll be basically $500 million.
Yeah. Are you surprised at all, Vic, that this got tossed out?
Not at all. If we had a chance, as we talked about earlier, Trace, to listen to the arguments between this appellate court in New York and the Attorney General's representatives and the Trump Organization's representatives, we came forward with one conclusion, which is they had serious doubt in both these charges sticking on the civil side and also the punishment. Yeah. There's no doubt. You can't look at this any other way than saying this was a biased Attorney General, which should raise everybody's hairs on the back of their neck. This is a very powerful official, and if this official can pick and choose who's going to be a criminal or civil defendant, we're all in trouble. But also the appellate court said, well, how do you come up with $400-some-odd million if, as Jonathan Turley just said, there's no victim, and these banks said, thanks for shaking our hand, we want to shake it again and make more money off of the organization.
She's also in a little bit of hot water now, Vicky, going forward here very quickly on that. I just had to touch on it.
Tip of the iceberg, tip of a huge iceberg. Is this going to be an overt act in furtherance of a RICO conspiracy, including other prosecutors who tried to, in essence, frame Donald Trump? My answer is yes.
Cincinnati Brawl, meantime, because you have Cincinnati faith leaders, they want charges against 45-year-old Alexander Chervinsky to be increased. Here is one of those leaders who said this.
We want equal application of the law. If it was a riot that occurred that night, let the person who incited the riot be also charged with incitement of a riot, with incitement to violence. If it was disorderly conduct, let all be charged with disorderly conduct. That is what we're asking.
Here's the thing, though. We can show this video if we have it, put it up there, because Mr. Chervinsky, they did a second-by-second here thing. It was 45 seconds. He had already been hit a couple of times by this. He was only responding. That's the whole thing. And so he was charged, but not as badly as them. And they want equal charges, Vic.
Well, there's some video that we are not seeing right now, and so chronology matters when it comes to self-defense. It's the most important self-defense issue, that it's a flux, right, Trace? Right. So sometimes you can have self-defense, and in the very same incident, you can lose your right to self-defense. The individual, the eventual victim, did in fact slap one of the individuals that's part of this big group, but just a slap, right? Really a half-hearted slap. The reaction was disproportionate when you have at least 6 people who are arrested and a dozen people involved who were brutally attacking, savagely attacking both the lady who went back to Russia, who was just here visiting, and the male that we just talked about. Everyone was upset, according to that new thing we just saw there, of the locals saying, why is he only charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct? Because that's what he did. And the other individuals were rightfully charged with serious felonies. Why is that, Trace? Because they overreacted, and Ohio's jury instructions are just like everyone else's in the nation. You don't have a right to overreact.
Vic, thank you.
Thank you.